Good evening, and thanks for joining us on this election day in Saskatchewan. We have teams across the province bracing for what's expected to be an exciting night. We start at NDP headquarters in Regina, where Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck will be tonight. That's where we find our Catherine Ledwig standing by. And Kat, the NDP hoping that this is where leader Carla Beck will be celebrating a win this evening.
That's right, Lisa. They're hoping that they all celebrate a win, and they're hoping to celebrate here at the Doubletree Hotel in Regina. Now, crews are super busy getting everything set up and prepared for the big night. And as crews are busy, the polls are probably busy as well. They're only open for another 3 hours, so they're probably seeing lots of last-minute voters. Carla Beck and her husband and 3 kids went out earlier this morning and cast their votes here in Regina. And, you know, as I've been talking to Carla Beck throughout this last month of campaigning, every single time I've talked with her, she has conveyed to me clearly how confident she is in herself and how confident she is in her team. And, you know, her team is telling me the exact same thing, that they are very, very confident in Carla as a leader. They've also been emphasizing their efforts in door knocking within the last 27 days of campaigning, how they've knocked on thousands and thousands of doors, really trying to appeal to voters face to face, to listen to what they have to say and what they want from the next government. But we'll see later tonight if those efforts paid off. Carla Beck should be coming here to the Doubletree in Regina later tonight as you know, things get underway.
All right, that's Global's Catherine Ledwig reporting live tonight. And as Saskatchewan voters head to the polls, so do the party leaders. Today, Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck, along with her husband and their 3 children, cast their vote in the 2024 election. Beck has preached to voters to get out and make their voice heard, and says her party is offering change. And not to be outdone, earlier this week, Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe and his wife cast their ballots in advanced voting. Moe has been campaigning on the Saskatchewan Party record and hopes voters chooses the party for a 5th straight majority. Now, the leader of the Saskatchewan Party, Scott Moe, spending the night in his home riding of Shellbrook, and that's where we find our Gates Guarin. And Gates, Scott Moe has chosen a familiar setting to deliver what he hopes to be a victory speech tonight.
Yes, Lisa, we're here at the Shellbrook rink, where there's still some last-minute setup as we inch closer to those polls closing at 8 o'clock. There's actually a hockey practice going on right now. Supporters have yet to roll in, but the stage behind me has literally been set for a race that just 27 days ago seemed like a slam dunk for the Saskatchewan Party. And now we may see a race that's much closer than we once thought. I spoke with a senior party staffer, and they say they're feeling very, very excited about tonight. They did recognize that it was a challenging race, but they're just as much looking forward to these results as we are here tonight. Now, I've heard that Scott Moe is here in Shellbrook watching the results with his wife, and I'm told he won't be here in the building until after those results are in. The last thing to note, I am still confirming if the concession will be open here at the rink for those rink burgers later. Lisa?
I can smell them now. Thanks for that, Gates. You'll make friends forever if you bring rink burgers back here. As we anticipate the night ahead, let's look at how we left the legislature at dissolution. At the end of September, the Sask Party was in control with 42 seats. The NDP held just 14. Of the other 5 seats, 4 were held by independents and 1 seat sat vacant. Well, this election was for the first time voters across the province had a full 5 days of early voting. So did it make a difference in lines at the polls today? We find the answer to that question. We sent out our Musam Ron to visit polling stations in Regina.
After 27 days of campaigning and 5 days of early voting, tonight is the final opportunity for voters to cast their ballot. And it seems that voting stations in Regina have people moving through them fairly quickly, as the ones that we visited had almost no lineup. There are 716 polling stations open across the province, according to Election Saskatchewan. So ample time and opportunity for people to cast their ballot. According to Election Saskatchewan, so far, 273,000 people have already cast their ballot.
Think about it, not long ago, women didn't actually have the right to vote, so why would you allow someone who fought so hard to get us the opportunity to vote if we're not going to actually vote. If you're not going to come out and do your job to make the change that you want, do you really have the right to complain about?
Looking for a change. Anything that we can get to help everybody around here, get down here and vote, make a change. You can't change anything if you don't come down and vote.
As for who comes out on top, the results will start rolling in soon after polls close at 8 p.m. tonight. Musa Imran, Global News.
All right, even before the polls close tonight, about a third of registered voters already cast their ballot. Throughout the 5 days of voting week, just over 270,000 people voted. Compare that to what we saw during the advanced voting period in 2020. It's an increase of nearly 90,000, or about 11%. Now, the number of mail-in ballots sent out is substantially lower than in 2020. But remember, 4 years ago, we were dealing with pandemic restrictions. 32,000 were approved for this election. Back in 2020, there were more than 61,000 mail-in ballots issued, with 56,000 returned. It added up to nearly 13% of all votes cast. Again, the Saskatchewan Party looking to extend their reign tonight, with Scott Moe pushing for his second majority as leader. Sask Party faithfuls gathering in Saskatoon, and that's where we find our Nicole Healy. She's going to be there all night. Nicole, setup is still going on, but is there an air of confidence happening there yet?
Yes, Lisa, we're expecting Prairieland Hall to be full of supporters here in a matter of hours. All eyes are on the cities. The NDP hoping to make some gains, while the Sask Party is hoping to hold on. They will be watching closely as results come in ridings like Saskatoon Southeast, Saskatoon Willow Grove, and Saskatoon Silver Spring. Other areas to note here on the outskirts of the city: Martinsville, Blairmore, and Saskatoon Chief Mr. Wasis. Earlier in the campaign, a lot of these ridings were green, and now they're looking more like a toss-up at the moment. So lots to watch here at Sask Party headquarters as candidates begin to gather for a long night ahead. Lisa.
All right, Nicole Healy at Sask Party headquarters in Saskatoon. We'll see you later tonight, Nicole. Well, it was just 4 years ago we were in this same spot, waiting to see which party would form government. So let's take a look back to 2020. That's when Scott Moe's Sask Party took 48 seats, leaving Ryan Miley and the NDP with just 13. Tonight, the NDP has its sights set on the province's two largest cities, but the party hasn't made its mark there in years. The last time the NDP took Regina was in 2007, when it collected 8 seats. It is similar in Saskatoon, when the party won 7 seats. That was also the first time we saw the Sask Party take power in Saskatchewan. Global's chief political correspondent David Aiken will be joining us in studio for our results coverage tonight. And David joins us now from his position in front of the touch screen he'll be using. What are you looking for tonight, David? What's the path to victory for both parties?
Well, Lisa, there is a path to victory for first-time NDP leader Carla Beck and the NDP. But it is a narrow path to victory. It's going to be much easier for the Sask Party to hold on to power. They can give up seats and still win a majority. But for the NDP to get to that magic number of 31, okay, I've got the map behind me. Let's see if we can walk through it. This is sort of where we were this time 4 years ago. 46 seats for the Sask Party, 15 for the NDP. Lots has happened in the meantime. I know there's some independents and we have Sask United. But for the sake of this path to power exercise, 46 to 15, okay? We need 31. Here's the current electoral map of Regina. For argument's sake, let's say the NDP sweeps everything in Regina. I think this riding right here, it's the new riding of Wascana Plains. That could be a bellwether. Let's see if they sweep that. Now it's 41 to 20. Clearly not enough if the NDP sweep Regina. We're going to have to go up to Saskatoon and see what's going on there. Here is the current electoral map for Saskatoon. Let's do the same thing. Let's give the NDP everything in Saskatoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more, 8 seats. Now it's 33-28. It's closer, but 31's the magic number, and the Sask Party would still be in control. So now what has to happen? Well, clearly, the NDP have to break the Sask Party's dominance in the province's smaller cities and in the rural areas. So what does that mean? Well, typically when the NDP wins government, government. They certainly win the northern Prince Albert seat, PA Northcote, but they'll probably have to also pick up Prince Albert Carleton. What's the score now? Still 31 seats there for the Sask party, 31-30. So the NDP have now swept Regina, swept Saskatoon, swept PA. They're going to need something else. We probably then look south. We probably look down to, there it is right there. There are 2 ridings in Moose Jaw. Typically, the southern riding, Moose Jaw-Waccamaw, that's the one that goes NDP when the NDP wins government. If that happens, there we go. NDP is at 31, Sask party is at 30. But you can see the barrier that the high barrier the NDP have to achieve in order to win victory. They really do need all of Regina, all of Saskatoon, PA, at least one Moose Jaw, plus they have to hold on to what they have in the north, and then they can think about the first woman premier of the province, Carla Beck. If they don't hit that barrier, Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan party will make history, winning 5 majorities in a row, the first time a party center-right in this province has done just that. Lisa.
All right, David Akin, thank you. He's been our political expert throughout this entire election campaign. Ken Coates sits down with our Brendan Purdy after the break to talk about this important night ahead for Saskatchewan. Stay with us. Freaking genius. Yep.
Just when you think there's nothing that can take you out of the zone, there is. So many options for under $4. The McValue menu.
The Nissan All-In Clear-Out event is on now, where you can get a stylish 2024 Rogue with a VC turbo engine that combines power and efficiency, or the versatile 2024 Kicks with impressive cargo capacity for every adventure, or the bold 2024 Sentra with an intelligent around view monitor. Get to your local Nissan dealer now and see it all for yourself. During the Nissan All-In Clear-Out event, finance select models from 0.99% for 24 months.
The NDP keep running down Saskatchewan. They called our economy a dumpster fire. They called our oil industry an nightmare. The NDP said there's nothing here to be proud of, and it's demoralizing to live in Saskatchewan. Tell the NDP they're wrong. Saskatchewan is a great place to live, and there's a lot to be proud of here. Vote for Saskatchewan. Vote Saskatchewan Party. Authorized by the Chief Official Agent for the Saskatchewan Party.
It doesn't matter who you're taking or where you're going. Your tires won't last forever. And now is the perfect time for new ones. Buy 3 tires and get the 4th free. Visit your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer for details.
Recycle My Electronics ensures the destruction of personal data stored on hardware because safety and security counts. And there's a drop-off location within minutes of most homes in Saskatchewan. The future is in your hands. Don't let it go to waste. To find out more, visit recyclemyelectronics.ca.
At PharmaSave, we see you and we care for prescriptions for common conditions, expert health advice, or support for life's little mishaps. Come talk to your PharmaSave pharmacist.
And now collect and redeem Air Miles reward miles for even more value at PharmaSave.
Welcome back. We're mere hours away from the polls closing on the 2024 provincial election when you, the people of Saskatchewan, will decide who will form our province's next government. My co-host for tonight's election coverage, Brendan Purdy, caught up with our political analyst, Ken Coates, earlier today to find out what results he's projecting to see tonight.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you to our political analyst, Ken Coates. Very excited to have you in the building with us today to go along this journey as the election unfolds throughout the night. Now, Ken, first question I've got for you this evening. What do you think is going to happen tonight, just from everything you've heard leading up through the campaign?
We're not used to having really contested elections in Saskatchewan. They've been slam dunks for different parties for months, for years. This one's contested. We're going to be up late at night.
So, Ken, with that said, what do Carla Beck and and her party need to do to consider this a victory? And by that same breath, what does Scott Moe and his Saskatchewan party need to do to consider tonight's election results a victory?
The NDP have sort of set themselves up to believe that anything less than victory is failure. It's kind of unfortunate because actually if they get 50% more seats than they have now, that'll be a really good achievement. If they just change the trajectory from being a Saskatchewan party province to being a contested province, that would be a huge achievement, and I think they've already achieved that part. For Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan party, it's actually much more difficult. If they don't get a resounding victory, it will be failure. Because in fact, the way the polls and stuff are going is showing that the cities will go one way, the rural areas will go another. You'll end up with a divided province, with a contested election, with uneven sort of balance of power in the legislature. So unless this is a really slam dunk victory, then Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan party will be very disappointed.
Well, Ken Coates, we always appreciate your analysis, and once again, thank you so much for joining us. Ken Coates will be with us on the desk throughout the night, giving you Decision Saskatchewan.
Well, we couldn't have asked for better election day weather, right? Peter Quinlan will be in after the break to let us know how long this beautiful weather will last for. Stay with us.
Hey, come on in.
Home Network. There's no place like it.
We're coming home.
We'll see you at home. Saskatchewan is a great place to live. Our economy is strong and our future is bright. Now you have a choice to make. You can vote to keep Saskatchewan strong and growing, or we can take a step back to the NDP days of losing people, jobs, and opportunities, watching our taxes go up and our province decline. Let's never go back to that. Let's keep our economy strong and our future bright. Vote for Saskatchewan. Vote for the Saskatchewan Party.
Authorized by the financial agents for all provincial Saskatchewan Party candidates.
What do you do if your child needs hospital treatment, but your family lives far away? Ronald McDonald House is a place for families to stay while their child is in hospital. Because when families stay together, sick children get stronger.
For the ones who are always ready for adventure, we're here for you when you need us, with coverage that goes where you go. We ensure the human spirit. So go, humans, go.
Amazon Fall Favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon Fall Favorites now.
You're watching Global, which also streams on Stack TV. Watch live and binge the same great shows on demand. Stack TV. Try it free today.
The CEO of Food Banks Canada says food banks are being pushed to the brink and low-income Canadians need help immediately. The organization's annual survey of food bank use in the country recorded new record heights of usage. More than 2 million people visited food banks in March 2024. That's up 6% from 2023 and 90% from 2019. The report issued an urgent recommendation for a groceries and essentials benefit. As it says, rapid inflation, housing costs, and insufficient social supports are driving poverty and food insecurity. Canadian Medical Association says it's time for sick notes for common short-term illnesses to go. As health reporter Catherine Ward explains, the change could alleviate pressure on doctors stretched to the limit.
The Canadian Medical Association says it's time to show sick notes the door.
They're an inefficient use of our healthcare resources. They certainly burden physicians with unnecessary administrative work. They worsen our healthcare system inefficiencies and inequities.
Past President Dr. Kathleen Ross says it's a simple, obvious solution that could give doctors back some valuable time, and that would benefit patients.
And we estimate that could free up 12.5 million unnecessary healthcare interactions every single year.
Dr. Ross says sick notes make sense for severe illnesses, but the advocacy group says there's little benefit to the work they take for common, minor illnesses, such as coughs, colds, and flus that typically resolve within 5 days. The approach could also make things more equitable for the millions of Canadians who don't have access to primary care.
Imagine how hard it would be to generate a sick note if you don't have access to a family doctor or not timely access to a family doctor. And even worse than that, it risks spreading whatever viral illness you may carry into populations that are seeking medical care and may be more medically vulnerable.
Dr. Jennifer Lush says after practicing family medicine for 22 years, the change would make a big difference.
30% of Canadians are saying that they have needed to get a sick note from their doctor in the last year. So clearly not enough is being done on the part of employers. Family physicians are trained to take care of patients, and that's what we want to be doing. It's what we're trained to be doing. And using our time to write letters is not efficient healthcare.
Catherine Ward, Global News, Toronto.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Election Day. And on the night before Election Day last night, a fantastic sunset was captured by Carmen. The flags were flapping in the wind. Now, no excuse to not be getting out to vote this evening. In the Regina area, around 6 p.m. we'll be at 8 degrees. By 7, we'll be at 7. Mainly clear skies, and even as polls close around 8 p.m., it'll be 5 degrees. Meantime, in Saskatoon, temperatures at 6 p.m. around 6 degrees, 7 p.m. to 4. A little chillier. You'll need that extra layer if you're headed out to the polling stations over the next few hours, but you still have time. Go get in line. What we are tracking in terms of the forecast as we look ahead is a cold front that's kind of knocking at our door. We're going to see a bit of a glancing blow, but it will do enough to drop our daytime highs out of double digits into single digits. We will see a high pressure system clearing out skies as we approach the end of the month. As we look at the night tonight, though, we are going to see a few clouds building in and a chance of a few flurries through western sections and the southwest. As we take you into your day tomorrow, though, that'll all clear. The sun will return. It'll be a bright start to your Tuesday. As we get into your Wednesday, though, a few more clouds begin to filter through across the area, maybe even some morning fog patches. And for Halloween on Thursday, we'll start out with some clouds. Big question is, will they clear in time for trick-or-treating time? And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Really, we're not looking at any major amounts of moisture, though, but a northerly breeze will be keeping those temperatures cool as we take you through your day tomorrow. A warm southerly wind returns for Halloween on Thursday, and then as we get into November, those winds will ease. Tonight, though, we are cooling to -4 Regina, -6 Saskatoon, feeling around minus double digits with wind chill on your way to work and school in the morning. 4 degrees is your high tomorrow afternoon. Prince Albert, -2 La Loche, +2 though in Lloydminster, +4 in the Battleford. Saskatoon, 3 degrees. Kindersley, 5 in Regina, 6 Moose Jaw, 10 in Estevan, 5 in Yorkton, and 4 for Swift Current. And in Regina tomorrow, getting up to 5 degrees, but then diving down to -11 Wednesday morning, feeling like the minus teens with wind chills. 7 for a high in the sun, 8 on Halloween for Thursday, clearing skies, temperatures just above the freezing mark for trick-or-treaters under a mainly clear evening. 7 as we kick off November Friday, 5 Saturday, 6 Sunday and Monday. Meantime in Saskatoon, those temperatures to 4 degrees tomorrow, -10 Wednesday morning, feeling like the minus teens with wind chill. 7 in the afternoon, 8 on Halloween in the afternoon, a dry trick-or-treating period, temperatures around 3 degrees. And then into November, we stay in those mid-single digits.
All right, thanks, Peter. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is proposing new major changes aimed at lowering mortgage costs for Canadians and speeding up home building. If elected as Prime Minister, Poilievre says he would scrap the federal sales tax on new builds sold for less than $1 million. But is it practical? Mackenzie Gray reports.
It's at the heart of the Conservative political pitch.
The number one cost for a home is government. Government bureaucrats, government taxes.
Pierre Poilievre saying he'd reduce those taxes, with the Conservative government taking off the 5% GST on new build housing units that sell for under $1 million.
Getting rid of the GST on new home builds will stimulate 30,000 additional homes built every single year.
The Conservative proposal similar to the key Liberal housing proposal announced last fall, taking off the GST on purpose-built rentals.
It's making a difference.
Housing experts like Mike Moffat, who Poilievre has previously attacked, believes the Conservative leader's 30,000 unit estimate is accurate.
I think on the tax side, I think the Poilievre folks now own this. This plan is far more bold than anything we've seen from the government.
One thing Moffat doesn't support, how the Conservatives plan to pay for the estimated $4.5 billion tax shortfall.
We're going to cut 2 programs for sure and more beyond that.
The first cut to the Housing Accelerator Fund, a $4.4 billion program where the feds give cash to municipalities that loosen zoning rules. The second, the Canada Housing and Infrastructure Fund, $6 billion to build things like wastewater infrastructure, unsurprisingly drawing the ire of the housing minister.
He talks about bureaucracy. He must not have read the line in his own plan that says that they want to hire new bureaucrats just to run a snitch line if you don't like your neighbor's housing policies. They came up with this stuff on the backside of a napkin after Googling housing for 5 minutes.
While Poilievre's projections of 30,000 units annually would help the housing situation, making housing more affordable is a monumental task, with the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation saying an additional 3.5 million new units need to be built by 2030 to restore affordability nationally. Mackenzie Gray, Global News, Ottawa.
Well, as we've showed you tonight, we have reporters in the field, experts with us in studio, but the most important part of this and every election is you, the voting public. Up next, we'll hear from some of you, your thoughts leading up to this election day.
With Lotto 649's 2 jackpots, what possible could you find? Play the growing gold ball jackpot of $20 million, plus the classic jackpot of $5 million.
You can take a journey through the magical stories of Frozen 2, Aladdin, and more at Disney on Ice presents Magic in the Stars. Coming to Brandt Center November 14th through 17th. For show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com.
We were born from a deep desire to create positive change together. 115 years later, that impact is felt everywhere. It's where we've made innovations accessible to those who need it most. Where we've championed truth and justice for all. Where we've mapped out futures we're already living. From here to here and even here. We're not just transforming lives, we're shaping the world.
The Book of Mormon is the best musical of this century. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. December 3rd to 5th at Connexus Arts Center. Tickets at connexusartcenter.ca.
You might not know the best time to replace your old furnace. But we do. Right now, save $1,100 on a new furnace during the Reliance Trade-In event.
Call on Reliance.
After 27 days of campaigning, Saskatchewan voters are eager to see what'll happen tonight with just hours to go until polls close at 8 p.m. Many voters focusing on healthcare, affordability, and education.
Care. That's my key issue right now.
Groceries, probably number one. Taxes, everything else like that, I guess.
The teachers' issues. Yeah, I worked in education for a lot of years, so that's first and foremost.
There's a lot of issues. I mean, obviously the economy and what's going on with employment.
Well, I mean, like anybody else, we want to see some changes. Our biggest struggles here in Kindersley, I would have to go with healthcare.
I'm still on the fence right now. I'm still thinking about it.
Shelbrook is feeling optimistic and continuing, in my mind, continuing to support Scott Moe.
My hope is that at the very least,
this is a wake-up call.
I'm satisfied with what Sask Party's doing, and I want them to keep going.
I believe that our government is just kind of going downhill. Like, they haven't been making as many changes as we should be seeing by now.
Probably still vote the same because I don't know if any party's going to be able to fix anything overnight.
Please join us for all the excitement tonight as our team brings you right into the race with live coverage from party headquarters and up-to-the-minute results. Starting at 8, we'll be right here on Global. We're also on the Global News live stream app and our YouTube channel. We'll be with you all evening, and folks, you don't want to miss a moment. We'll see you right here for Decision Saskatchewan at 8 o'clock.